What's the political or practical barrier to the health insurance issue that you raised? The idea of creating a different structure that is more similar to New Hampshire. What's preventing us from doing that now?
Incestuous. Okay. Everybody likes the status quo. The hospitals basically get to charge whatever they want.
So what's the political barrier though? Is it just
Barrier.
votes in legislature?
Votes in legislature. Votes in legislature and an honest gathering of everyone in the medical community together to analyze the problem and come up with a solution. Again, without blaming docs or hospitals or insurance companies or anyone, saying, look, why don't we just go to the New Hampshire model? We know that one works. They have a high-risk pool of 3,000 or 4,000 people, and the state helps take care of those people, and the average insurance costs are, 50% of what they are in the state of Maine. And you want to modify from that, we'll modify from that. But that's the simple, fast answer.
I like your idea.
It's the last one. Got it.
Your plan sounds great.
By my view of the clock, I have 1 minute and 37 seconds left.
I give you 2 minutes.
All right.
This guy.
Very generous.
Everything you said to me very well thought out. How do you think you will be able to convince the legislature and the bureaucracy to do any of these things in a 4-year term?
Best way of answering that question is I stood in front of you for the last hour. I told you about who I am, where I come from, what I believe. You'll make a value judgment as to whether I've got the gravitas to stand up for what I believe is right and work for you and do the right thing. I believe I will, but you'll make that decision. I think everything that got me to where I am the last 60 years is going to give me the ability to do it. I don't have another job that I want to go to when I'm done being governor. I have no other I actually have no political aspirations at all. I'm interested in this because I think it's a great job and a great opportunity to work and do something that's good. So I think I can do it, but my thinking I can do it, all I can do is ask you for your vote and your support and promise you for 8 years I will bust 24/7, be the best job I possibly can for you. And after 4 years, if I haven't, then just you know exactly how to vote me out of office. That's how the system works.
Quick.
Real quick, I had a chance to see you speak at the CPCU. I was via the website. I greatly enjoyed your speech. I am a state employee and have been a state employee for 6 years. State employees, there's 13,000 of us. It's an aging demographics, aging workforce, and there are one of the largest employers, and it's like you hit on a couple of things. We do have performance management evaluations in, but because of the 2 things I mentioned, it's a huge, huge thing. I really am excited about some of the plans that you have, and would love to have you get a chance to put them in force.
Thank you. And to put an asterisk on your point, we don't have to fire state employees to get where we need to go because of attrition and the fact that we're going to be losing through natural events 10% of our state employees a year. We just hire the right people and we will naturally shrink government without having to be the bad ogres and just fire people.
This is more of a specific question, but provided that we're not going to raise the gas tax and revenues from the gas tax are going to continue to go down, do you have any suggestions for how we can fix the highway fund in the state of Maine without having to keep pouring money into it from other sources?
Good question. Okay, so let's go back to the board, and we'll start with 15 billion, okay, being the total amount of money that theoretically is the state budget for every 2 years, for the biennium, okay. Before we had all the problems that we have today, the way that $15 billion broke down was we got about 5.7 back from the United States government for the taxes that we pay for specific programs that had to be run, regardless of how efficient they were, that were mandated by the state. We got about 2.9 billion were our own state mandated programs, okay? About 610 million, two M's, okay. 610 million was our highway fund, And the remaining to get the rest of the way, which is about another 5.7, is what we raise in general taxes in the state of Maine, 80% of which goes for health, education, welfare, leaving only 20% left over. Now, where we have the big problem is that 5.7 of revenue is basically shrunk to 4.7. Okay? That's in gross round numbers, that's the problem. Our revenues have shrunk, yet we're still spending this much and we're getting this much, and we keep trying to find ways to plug the hole. And we're going to run out of ways to plug the hole. Now, specifically with the highway fund, one of the best ways to improve our lot in the highway fund is, as we use less gasoline, because we're becoming more efficient, we need to figure out how to be more efficient in the way we fix our roads and bridges. And there are a number of interesting examples of things that we don't do that we could do. First of all, the University of Maine in Orono has a composites lab that has figured out how to build overpasses over our roads in the state of Maine, but the Maine Turnpike Authority will not recognize wood as something they can use to build an overpass. They're cheaper, they're less expensive, they create jobs in the state of Maine, our money would go further. Secondly, privatization. Privatization needs to become an everyday word in Augusta. Someone in the private sector will bid a job more efficiently than the state of Maine will do a job. There is a profit motivation which is extremely important, and the private sector can make our $610 million go further. Third, when we talk about roads and bridges in the state of Maine and the highway fund and the highway department, and this is one that I got from Arthur Hicks, who runs C.B. Kenworth. C.B. Kenworth is the largest manufacturer or seller of trucks in Maine. And in a discussion that I had with him the other day, he said that he sells a truck for $116,000 to private contractors to plow roads and use in their businesses for all purposes and maintain road work. When the state of Maine buys a truck, because of a long list of components and changes and special things that they need, that same truck costs the state of Maine $176,000. Arthur Hicks makes exactly the same amount of profit on that truck. But because we create a whole new set of standards that are not generally used by private industry for the trucks that we want to use to take care of the roads in the state of Maine, we pay an extra $60,000 for the truck. Again, if that function was being done by a private contractor, there's a high probability that the truck would cost $116,000, not $176,000. There's a lot of things that government has decided to do in the highway and transportation business that could be best done by us. The greatest thing that we could do in transportation in the state of Maine is allow a privately funded toll road to be built east to west that would be populated by a tremendous amount of New Brunswick and Quebec traffic that would increase trade with the equivalent of 2 other states who would love to do business with us, who are now driving hundreds and hundreds of miles out of their way just to get from point A to point B. And we have at our disposal the ability to build a private highway. You should also know that there is only one completely privately funded toll road that was part of the interstate system in the United States. And a little applause, because it happens to be the Maine Turnpike. Not part of the interstate system. Okay. The only other turnpike that was mostly funded was the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Maine's was the first, and it still is profitable. And there are many industrialists in the state of Maine who would be happy to step up to the plate and help build a toll road that would go east to west without using taxpayers' money, that would actually produce a tax, a fee, that could be paid to the state of Maine every year in profit for the use and the borrowing of the land that the road would go on.